Assalamu alaikum. I'm making this video today because it is tough. In fact, maybe it's a bit too late. And for the service of Allah is what I'm doing it, is why I'm doing it. When uh, when I turned 40, my life took a dramatic turn. And initially I thought it was pure torture. But 3.5 years in, perhaps I don't fully understand and fathom the plan of Allah. Who am I to claim that? But I do understand enough to know that everything happened for a deep, deep reason. A reason that is dawning on me only now. In this process, my family broke. That is a very deep cut in my heart. And I'm not going to talk about my trials today. Right? I'm not going to talk about the people who came and went. Because everything has really been a blessing from Allah in many different ways that I don't want to explain right now, and I can't really. But that deep cut in my heart is the reason why I am here. Because while homes are breaking around us, Iblis is going into bliss. And this is not just a statement, not just a statement. This is really a research finding because I've written a couple of papers. One of them I've literally called Iblis and Bliss. The family is his greatest target, period. And while this happens, and while our homes are burning down and our children are getting minced, what do we tell ourselves and others around us tell us? Oh, my child, you had nothing to do with this. Tere aisa chand ka tukda could never do this. So we flatter ourselves while the house burns and the children get punched into pieces. And so I think this is the minimum I can do in the service of our deen, in the service of Allah, to get this message across so that maybe, just maybe, fewer families might break. Maybe I save one family. That's all I want. So this is why I'm here. Now, let me take you somewhere. Okay. Since the dawn of mankind, there has been a question that has bothered us forever. Since the first human being, I believe, came, except Adam alayhi salam, who knew Allah, who made all of this? Why are we here? What is this earth? Where did we come from? Where are we going to go? How do we get born? What is all this going on? And over the span of humanity's life cycle, many, many answers have been brought to the fore. Today, the internet is full of theories. You will literally find documentaries telling you that other beings created us, that the pyramids, in fact, this is a reality. The pyramids in Giza and pyramids across every part of the world, even the ones that are just getting discovered, even the ones in Pakistan, even the ones in Khartoum, all the pyramids point to the North Star, Sirius. So, I mean, this fact clearly tells us that some form of intelligence is there behind all of this, right? There is something going on. Some other people say Anunnaki are the god, and that they created mankind, and this earth is just an experimental ground for them, or maybe that we were meant to mine gold or to, I mean, movie stories which are coming from these realities. Some other people worship the sun, and some people say that Prometheus, because he stole fire from the gods, should be the Lord that we should all be looking to. And then the Christian tradition tells us that Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa, committed a terrible sin by eating a fruit or eating a fruit of a tree, and therefore they were thrown down as a punishment, and childbearing was given to the woman as a punishment. So many stories, so many answers to the same question. Okay. Now, and Islam, by the way, has its own origin story. And before I tell you that, I want you to stop with me for a second and think about something. Okay. Think about what it means to be a creator, a creator. So, Newton was sitting under a tree and an apple falls on his head and he discovers gravity. Amazing feat of intelligence, I believe. But who put the idea in his head? Who put the question, why is it falling down, in his head? Who decided that when you put a piece of raw meat on your tongue that you will make a bad face like this? Who decided what taste would be in the first place, the concept of taste, and who decided that it's going to cause that a bad reaction is going to come on a face of with a expression of disgust? Who designed the expression of disgust? Who designed dopamine, and who decided that it will be a chemical in your brain that will cause elation to you? Who designed cortisol, and who decided that's going to put you in fight or flight mode? Who decided peace would feel the way peace feels in your heart? So what I'm trying to say over here is every one of these is a creative decision. And the one who made those decisions is the only creator, the only one capable of any form of creativity, and that is Allah. So when I say Allah the creator, I'm not just talking about a big bang, the creation of the heavens and the earth, the creation of our bodies, of things around us. I am talking about the idea that fell into Newton's head. I'm talking about taste and the decision to make taste. I'm talking about the decision to make something called time and the decision to make the universe as it is today. Who was the intelligence? That's the creative power I'm talking to you about, because Islam's story begins exactly there. Okay. Now, scene number one. This is the first scene. And by the way, everything I'm going to say will be quoted from the Quran or the Hadith, and I will put the quotations on the screen. So one day, Allah calls Adam alayhi salam to his presence, and he puts his hand on the back of Adam alayhi salam, and he brought forth from this action, the entire progeny of Adam. Now, let me say that again. The entire progeny of Adam. What does that mean? It means you, it means me, it means my son, my daughter, my mom, my dad, my family. It means every person you have ever loved or hated, every person you have ever met, every human being who has ever walked the earth and will ever walk the earth and will come into your life, and so on and so on and so on. Every person from the dawn of mankind until the last day, all were brought into the presence of Allah. You and I, our souls, I guess, in whatever form, we were there. In that one instant, immediately, kun fayakun happened, standing before Allah. And then something a bit strange happens. Allah asks a question. Alastu bi rabbikum? Am I not your Lord? Pause with me here for a moment and think. So I want you to realize something. We have just been gathered for the first time. Allah has brought forth the entire progeny of Adam alayhi salam in one instant. You and I, we are all there. The entire creation of humanity is standing in his presence, and he doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't say, look, I am Allah. I'm your creator. Look at me. I'm so powerful. He doesn't. He doesn't say, behold, I made you. Look at who I am. I am Allah. He just asks a question. Creates all of us. We are standing in his presence and he asks, Alastu bi rabbikum? Am I not your Lord? Because he doesn't need to introduce himself. Because we already know. Because the moment a soul is brought into existence, it knows its creator, just like a child knows its mother before it learns the word for amma, mamma, mamma. The way we know that the sun is warm, before anyone explains the concept of heat to you, you already know it. Just like that, we knew that he was our Lord. He asked us a question, and we already had an answer. It's not just that he asked a question, we answered. قَالُوا بَلَا شَاهِدْنَا. This is Surah Araf, Ayah 173. Both of these things that I just mentioned. Yes, we have testified was our answer. قَالُوا Bala shahidna. The shahadat. We have testified. So you said it, and I said it before you were born, before your parents met, before any of this, before this video. You stood in front of Allah before I don't know, creation of the earth or what, but before any of this, you stood in front of Allah and you said, yes, you testify. And He said back, you will be held accountable for this testimony. You and me will be held accountable for this testimony, for the yes that we have already said. So remember that, okay? Because that is the opening scene in the origin story of Islam. And every single thing that I'm about to tell you in these videos, every whisper, every battle, every choice, every fall, every rise, everything begins in the moment Allah asked, Alastu bi rabbikum? And you and I said, Qalu bala shahidna. That, my friends, is the opening scene. That is where it all began. Thank you.